Sussex and Nottinghamshire proved to be two even and battling sides with not much to choose between them at the halfway stage of their latest LV County Championship match at the BrightonandHoveJobs.com ground. Thanks to Samit Patel, the visitors had recovered from 72 for 5 to 321 for 8 by the start of the second morning. Luke Fletcher and Ajmal Shazhad added a further 10 runs to that in the opening 6 overs. Chris Jordan didn't need too long for his 6th wicket of the innings. Fletcher on 8, nicking him to Michael Yardy to take Jordan to the top of the wicket-taking charts in the First Division with 31. That's one more than his opening partner, Steve McGoffin. McGoffin was unable to match Jordan as Shazhad, who'd begun the day on a very handy 35, was able to go on to record just the 4th half-century of his career. He got there with his 5th 4 off his 139th delivery, and in doing so also took his team past 350 with only 4 balls of the bonus point scoring overs remaining. He was finally out in the next over for 56 as he edged a swing at James Anion behind, but he'd helped his side to a very creditable 356, Jordan ending with figures of 6 for 97. So now what could Nottinghamshire do with the new ball in their hands? Not a lot as it turned out, as Luke Wells and Chris Nash were able to comfortably see out the 50 minutes that remained before lunch. It was just the start they needed after the momentum had swung their opponent's way during the second half of the first day. Nash has a good record against this team over the years, while Wells is a batsman who's improving season on season and has become a very durable performer. None of the Nottinghamshire seamers could extract the same pace and movement that Jordan had managed, while Patel, given an over before lunch, was soon cut to the boundary rope. The visitors did break through after lunch. Nash on 22, surprised to get an inside edge back onto his stumps off Shazhad to end an encouraging opening partnership of 72. Sussex, of course, began this latest match on top of the championship table. Clearly the efforts of Jordan and McGoffin have helped them do that, but they also are a side which has been scoring runs, and generally at a pretty good rate. Wells had now been joined by the in-form Michael Yardy, a recent centurion at Derby. It was Wells on this occasion who had reason to raise his bat after he secured his 3rd 50-plus score of a profitable season. He got to his mark this time with a couple of runs off Harry Gurney, a shot which also brought up the Sussex 100 in the 33rd over. Wells had required 103 deliveries for his latest 50, an innings which had included 7 fours. His decision to then attack Patel cost him his wicket. Down the pitch he came, only to strike the ball to Fletcher at mid-off, to depart for 59 at 118 for 2. Sussex entered this game in very good form, having moved to pole position with 2 comfortable wins in their last 2 outings. They now had a pair together with altogether different styles of batting in the form of Yardy and Ed Joyce, batsmen who can't be that easy to bowl at. Patel was certainly finding that the case, with Yardy taking him on before tea with 2 successive 4s of almost identical shots. On what looks to be a very well-balanced surface for both the batsmen and bowlers, Sussex just started to bat themselves ahead of the game after the interval, with Joyce again looking in inspired form as he has done all season. His stand with Yardy for the 3rd wicket added 58 runs to take the total onto 176. But then the visitors restored parity once more. Yardy on 46 just lost his shape on the drive and was bowled by Shazhad, who was arguably having his best day as a Nottinghamshire player. Even more so when, in his next over, he also had Rory Hamilton-Brown superbly held at first slip by Alex Hales, a wicket which left Sussex on 188 for 4. They were still 168 runs behind their opponents, but they now had Luke Wright, who was batting for the first time in the Championship after a lot of short cricket in the IPL and the Yorkshire Bank 40 on these shores. He and Joyce brought up the 200, each point for the home side putting them further ahead at the top of the table. 2 more controlled runs for Joyce off the bowling of Paul Franks took the Irishman to yet another 50. In only 5 Championship knocks so far this summer, he struck 3 half-centuries, and bear in mind that in his last game he batted at number 11, so had little chance of getting another one. He and Wright now carry the total to 223, but then both batsmen were dismissed in the space of 4 overs. Wright on 14 edged a cut off Patel behind, while Joyce for once got himself in a bit of a tangle and awkwardly gave James Taylor a catch off Gurney's first ball of a new spell. Joyce was out for 59, 7 overs before the close. Those 7 overs then brought Sussex a more than handy 41 runs before stumps were drawn, with both Ben Brown and Jordan playing some very attractive and powerful shots to again close the gap between these two teams, a gap which is so thin now that a cigarette paper could not fit in it. Nottinghamshire need the second new ball to work for them on the third morning. That is available in one more over. Sussex will resume with Brown on 29 and Jordan on 21 on 290 for 6, which leaves them only 66 runs behind. Sussex will still fancy a first innings lead, which may yet put the visitors' top order under some pressure. Or then again, maybe not.